talk to him.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to the Mayor's Minutes. Happy Wednesday afternoon to everybody out there in Methuen land, whether you're watching this live or on tape. Just a reminder, we switched our medium to YouTube, and I will go over that in a minute. We have a fabulous guest here as we start to prepare for Save a Methuen 2024. It was an enormous hit in 2023. We're hoping to make it a bigger hit in 2024. And we're going to start to tell you today some of the specials that will be available to you if you go out to eat during Save a Methuen Week. It used to be called Restaurant Week. So, and welcome to the show, Jocelyn.
Thank you.
We're thrilled to have you.
I'm so happy to be here.
We're thrilled to have you on the show. We're thrilled to have you in Methuen. And you really kind of sort of have two places in Methuen, right?
Well, one's in Salem.
One's in
on the
Salem,
line.
but I like to say quasi-Methuen because it's right past my house.
No, if you cross the street, you're in Methuen.
Right. Literally throw a stone. So welcome to the show. We're going to talk a lot about your restaurants, which are, I can say, having personally sampled them myself, are fabulous.
Thank you.
So kudos to you guys.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
We'll get into that. I do want to say a couple things. So it's going to be impossible for me to attend the high school graduation this Friday because I have a procedure at 3 o'clock. A minor procedure, thank God, but it doesn't allow me enough time to get to the graduation ceremonies. So to all the young folks from Methuen High that will be graduating this Friday, first and foremost, we're all praying for sunny weather and not rain. Right now, the forecast calls for 50% chance of showers. Everybody get together, think positive vibes, and push those showers away. But I do want to say to the senior class of Methuen High School, thank you. And that may seem a little, thank you. Thank you for being such terrific ambassadors of the city of Methuen and of Methuen Public Schools. Everything this senior class has done has been an outstanding representation of what this city is and who we stand for. So from the mayor's perspective, you're going to get a little speech read to you by the superintendent that the mayor submitted. But remember, at the heart of it is a hearty thank you from me for everything that you've done, academically, athletically, socially, right? You've made an impact on our city. And my only advice to you as you graduate would be don't lose that, right? You're looking at a man who it took till I was age 62 to really understand public service. And I came out of the private sector and came into this job. And I'm going to say this, for the people that love me and the people that hate me, at the same breath, there is no job quite like being the mayor of the city of Methuen. It is an outstanding job, and I have loved every single minute of it. And I mean that categorically. I even love it when people are yelling at me. So kudos to you, class of 2024. Don't drink and drive, please. I'll tell you this, I say that, and people say, well, why is the mayor say? I say the same thing. I have 3 30-somethings who live with me, or 2 20-somethings and 1 30-something that live with me. And I say the same thing to them every time they go out. Don't drink and drive. And if you do, leave your keys, call for a ride, we'll come and get you. It's never too big an imposition. And remember that, right? No matter where you are, here or away. But if you go away to school, remember, come back to Methuen and make your impact, right? Because this is a class, like I said, that we owe a lot of gratitude. You've done a terrific job representing the city of Methuen and continue to do so. And on the athletic front, our girls softball, our boys volleyball, and I'm forgetting one, are all still active in the MIAA tournament. So enormously proud of that, enormously proud of you, and enormously proud of all the folks that make it happen at Methuen High School and at the elementary schools. So there's that. Now we'll get into the typical slide. So if we go to the first slide, just a reminder that we've changed our medium from Facebook Live to YouTube. So you can see this live on YouTube, and you can submit questions. Here I am, Mayor Neil Perry. So you can submit live questions on Methuen Community Studios. Jocelyn's new to the show, so she doesn't know that all the tough questions go to you, and all the softballs go to the mayor. That's how this works.
That's fine.
All right. I know you're prepared for it. So go on out to Methuen Community Studios. All you have to do is go to YouTube and search Methuen Community Studios, and it will come up with the live show. All right. So I said Jocelyn Maroun, owner of Jocelyn's by Sevmar. So let me ask you a couple questions to get the ball rolling, Jocelyn. So first, tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us a little personal background, if you would.
Sure. Do you want me to start in terms of the business or in terms of my personal life?
Well, start your personal life. Your personal first, we'll go into the business.
I was born and raised in Methuen, right in the valley. I know, literally 2 minutes down the street from where Jocelyn's by Sevmar is. My parents are immigrants from Lebanon, and they opened a little sub shop when we were younger to send us to school. My brothers and I have 2 brothers. They sent us to Central Catholic, and then I went to Marymount College. And then they sold the restaurant that they had, and they said, okay, our kids are educated, we've done our job here. And then after college, I just wanted to be a waitress. I just wanted to work in the hospitality industry.
Right.
And my dad said, I did not work this hard for you to be a waitress, you know, do something more. So he opened the restaurant called Jocelyn's at the time in 28 in Salem, New Hampshire.
Yes.
I had a 14-year run. And then now I have Jocelyn's by Sevmar and then Sevmar Mediterranean Bistro with my partner, Kelvin.
Yeah.
He's in the demo business, but we have a meeting of the minds. I bring the hospitality, he brings the business, and we get it done.
Yeah.
I have a daughter, she's 11. And
11?
Yep.
Wow.
And are you looking for any more history?
I'm sorry?
Are you looking for any more history than that?
Well, no, so that's enough personal. I don't want to pry too much.
Okay.
But, I guess, so you do, we talked about this as we were joking in the opening. You do have the one that's in what we call North Salem, which is just at the top of Hampstead Street, where Hampstead Street crosses over into Salem, New Hampshire. You've got that restaurant, and you've got the new one now.
Mm-hmm.
And so let me ask you a question. Was there any trepidation opening another restaurant where you sitting there saying, I don't know?
No, only because they're smaller restaurants. I came from a 200-seat restaurant, and this one is 43, the other one's 42.
Got it.
So they're manageable.
Yeah.
And I love the community. The community loves us back, and so
Yeah.
I was confident it was going to work out.
All right. So let me just focus on my Lebanese here for a minute and say, Ana behibel gibi nai.
Oh.
All right. So I
Ana
got
kaman.
close, right?
You did it perfectly.
Okay. So for those watching, that's I love kibinai, or kibinai is
kibi.
pleasing to me, yeah.
Sure.
Raw kibi. Now, raw kibi is, and I'm going to tell you, I'm your typical thick-headed Irishman. I don't eat my meat anyway other than well done, except for raw kibi.
Oh, you weren't kidding.
I will eat raw kibi. And people say, well, how could you eat your meat? If I was to order prime rib, which I don't, I would order it well done, which kills it. If I order filet mignon a lot, and I get it well done, and frequently when I've been on the road when I was on the road for Raytheon, the chef would come out and say, who's ordering filet mignon well done? And they would say, you're just killing the meat, right? You're just wasting it. But for me, I don't know, my ex is a Lebanese.
Oh, I was going to ask how
Yeah.
you knew about it. Okay.
Yeah. And so I picked up some traditions, like, I'm going to say this wrong, the fe'is thing, the thing with
eggs
the eggs.
on Easter?
Yeah.
It's a little game we play.
So we would do that. And then, her mom would make a pretty mean raw kibi, right?
Well, you got something good from the marriage?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, I got a lot of things good from
No,
marriage.
I'm teasing.
Yeah.
I'm teasing.
I got 4 wonderful kids.
No, for sure.
When you look at your menu, what would you say is the most ordered dish?
It's hands down the grilled chicken. The grilled chicken kebab. I know chicken is chicken, but the way they marinate it, it's so juicy, it's so tender, it's very flavorful.
Yeah.
Next is the hummus, and then after that is the combination platter, which has a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
That's what we put out when we had the grand opening.
Oh, it
We
was
put
awesome.
out chicken and hummus.
And the chicken was awesome.
No, good. And you all had it cold, unfortunately, and it was still good. I'm glad.
It was delicious, trust me.
No, thank you.
So I asked you about the 2 places. How about staffing? I'm going to ask you some weird questions. So staffing-wise, we've struggled getting people. We're in a little better space right now than we've been in. But a lot of small businesses are struggling with keeping employees. Are you seeing any of that?
I can understand why that would be the case, but at the restaurants that we have low turnover rate. Sometimes we'll go through like a weird phase where, it gets kind of wonky. But for the most part, the ones that come stay for a while. You know,
Yeah.
I have girls with us now that have been with us for 10 years, even from the other restaurant.
Yeah.
But it is hard to get them. But once we get them, they do stay. It's a weird market. After COVID, it's just hard to find
Changed
staff.
everything, right?
I know.
Yeah, it really did. And so, so what do you see? I'm going to ask you some more restaurant specific questions, but what do you see in the future? Do you see, kind of trying to open more restaurants of the same size, or?
I feel like we can't really plan for the opportunities because it just depends on what comes up. Ideally, if something bigger had gone up, I would have taken that. So it's just what has become available. But for me, one was enough.
Right.
Two was like, okay, if you want to with my partner. But
Right.
he's a businessman through and through. And if an opportunity comes, it's rare that he will not take it. So
Right.
he's already talking about a third concept.
There you go. I like it.
I know.
Bring him into the mayor's office. Well, yeah. And I noticed. So you have a broad menu though. So we talked about the chicken kebabs, which I adore. I got to be honest. So
Good
as
to
a
know.
guy with my health issues, I'm always looking for protein.
Right.
Right? Chicken has plenty of protein, so it's like a number one go-to. But let's talk a little bit about your menu, because your menu is pretty diverse. It's got a lot of, I almost said seasonal, not seasonal, but regional specialties, let's say, right? So talk a little bit about some of those.
Okay, so our menu has been pretty standard with the Lebanese things. We have the kebabs, lamb kebab, chicken kebab, beef kebab, kafta kebab. We have the staples like the hummus, tabbouleh, baba ganoush, raw kibbeh. And then now, just as of tomorrow, actually, we had to put on some new kind of exciting specials because we
Sure.
have all the standard things, but after a while, we have to set ourselves apart and kind of keep things exciting. So we've just recently put on a ribeye steak.
Ooh.
We put on some pasta dishes. We put on an exotic salad, burrata cheese, like the
burrata's excellent.
fried cauliflower, which is fairly new concept.
Yeah.
So just a few little things to keep it modern and to
Spice
keep
it
it
up.
fresh.
Yep.
So if people come regularly, they'll say, "Oh,
Yeah.
this is new. This is new."
Yeah.
But we still have all the staples
Yeah.
that are tried and true. Salmon, haddock. We have things for people that don't like Lebanese food, that don't know what it is,
Yeah.
and for ones that specifically like the very authentic things.
Yeah. Now, do you, at the two spots, do you find that you've got more of a following, a traditional group of people that come, same nights every week, or is
We
it?
definitely do. We have
Yeah.
regulars, and I sometimes will know people by their order, not even by their names.
Yeah.
I'll say, "Hello, my friend," the usual. I don't really know their names, but
Yeah.
people like to develop routines, and they like to be a familiar face.
Yep.
And that's why it helps that our staff stays, because we cultivate this little culture. And sometimes when new people come in, they'll say, "Oh, wow, you all seem to know each other here." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, we'll do the same with you. Don't worry."
Yeah.
And we kind of make them feel like
bring
that.
you part of the family, right?
Exactly.
Now, the raw kibbeh, do you just do that on the weekends?
We used to, but it's gotten so popular, we have it every day now.
Good. Oh, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of places don't.
I can't believe how many people order raw kibbeh now.
It's like I said, I'm your test case. How does a guy who only eats his meat well done eat raw kibbeh?
I wasn't sure if you were kidding at first,
No,
but you
no,
were serious. I know.
I love it. I absolutely love it. It's got a great taste, and you put
It's good
it
for you.
I put it between the Syrian bread with a little
Exactly.
red onion, and then put a little hummus on it, and
You
I'm
can
a happy
do a
boy.
thin garlic spread too.
Oh, yeah, fabulous. You're
love
gonna
that,
get me
thank you.
started to talk. People goes, "Oh, Mayor, you put weight back on." Yeah, I'm up to 178. That's the good news.
That's good.
I had gone way down to 160.
Oh,
So back on the.
I don't know what your health issues are, but I'm
Well,
happy to see you on
I've
the
had some
upside.
significant health issues. Yeah,
Oh, good. Take
the
care of
city
yourself.
knows about them. Most of the people. I ended up in rehab last year for like a month and a half, and related to I'm on dialysis for my kidneys.
Oh, okay.
But all the more reason why proteins and everything are important to me. I want to talk a little bit. I want to explore a little bit more. So I want to stick in here that we've got Restaurant Week coming up, June 17th, which is we're calling Savor Methuen again, Savor Methuen 2024. Next week, my good friend Jerry, who's helped us plan this for Methuen, will be on, and he'll be taking questions. He'll be talking about a lot of different restaurants. So I do want to stop here because I want to hit the slides, at least the restaurant slides, twice today. So warning to MCS, we're going to do them and then we're going to come back just the restaurant ones. So if we could go to the first restaurant week slide, it's Jocelyn's. What a shocker.
I love that. Thank you.
Experience unparalleled authentic cuisine. And I want to tell you, this is something that's been sorely lacking in Methuen. So we are thrilled to have you back, and hopefully we show you that, Jocelyn, every single day. Next slide.
Thank you.
Is another Jocelyn's one, yeah? 319 Merrimack Street, Methuen. And what's the other address? Do you know it off the top of your head?
Sure, it's 401 Main Street, Salem, New Hampshire.
Salem, New Hampshire, right at the top of Hampstead Street. Next slide, please. All right, so we get into the slides, and these are the ones we're going to, so June 17th through 21 is Restaurant Week 2024, or Save of Methuen, and there are a lot of specials. My co-host next week, Jerry Schiavone, is the, I don't know what the correct term is. He's not the owner of Merrimack Valley Eats. He's the overseer, if you will. So Merrimack Valley Eats is a Facebook group. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you're aware of it.
Very aware.
They put a lot of reviews out there. People come in and I'm going to ask you that question at the end. You know, oftentimes you see somebody who comes in and hammers a restaurant that you've had a very good experience at. I always worry about that and the impact it has on people, right? Because everybody can have a bad night, mm-hmm. right? Something not cooked right or whatever. But we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. So, all right, a couple of the tasty treats are right there displayed. Next slide is bada bing, bada boom. Our good friend John, he's always in, and he has a deal that says from June 17th to 21st, if you buy one large pizza, you get a small cheese pizza free. There's a limit one per customer, and you must mention it. You must mention Restaurant Week, right? So you've got to say Methuen Restaurant Week. You can't just call up and say, I want a large cheese pizza and expect to get your free cheese pizza, right? You've got to call it out. I'm going to stop here for a second and say I am a tremendously vocal small business advocate. And what I want you to remember is whether it's Jocelyn's or Bada Bing, Bada Boom, these are the folks that fund a lot of the stuff that goes on in our community. When you look at our athletic teams, our youth sports, all those kind of things, all of these places are there every single day, every single time the city needs them or asks them. So it's time for us to repay, if you will, right? So make sure you're planning ahead now. We're giving you plenty of notice, June 17th to 21, and we don't have all the specials listed today, but we're going to, show you between this week and next week some of the really great specials that we have. All right, next slide. Our good friends at Mann's Orchards, so their specials, June 17th to 21st, just for that week, you can get a $5 egg and cheese breakfast sandwich with a small cold brew coffee. You can also, at the Barn, their ice cream place, get a single brownie sundae, a single strawberry shortcake, or apple crisp and ice cream, all for $5. And by the way, I want to go on record as saying, even though I didn't get to try it last year, the Barn had kind of I called it a Henry Ford sundae to my kids. And what I mean by that is all the components of an ice cream sundae are packaged in a little container. You get your ice cream, you get some topping, hot fudge or strawberry, you get whipped cream, you get some other stuff to go on it, and you get to kind of do it in a tray yourself. And I thought, what a great idea. Mm-hmm. What a fabulous idea. So that's our friends at Mann's. Then $5 lunch specials that week as well, from Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., your choice. Sausage, peppers, and onion sub on Tuesday. That sounds delicious. A walking taco on Wednesday. That is something the mayor has lived his whole life to see. Yeah. Show me a taco walking. Thursday is the smash burgers, which I can attest to as I've tried. And Friday is the chicken barb, which I can also attest to because I've tried. So get on out to Mann Orchards. Look at these specials the week of June 17th to 21st. And make Mann's one of your destinations that week. Next slide, please. So next we have Sweetheart Inn. We're thrilled to still have Sweetheart Inn with us. And their deal for Restaurant Week is $10 off a $50 check, which excludes alcohol and is dine-in only, right? So you can't get it on takeout. But $10 off, $50 on your tab, that's a great deal. Next slide, please. Ellie's Farmhouse, our good friend Rick at Ellie's Farmhouse, from June 17th to 21st, spend $30 and get $5 off, alcohol excluded. You must mention Restaurant Week. So I'm noticing a little bit of difference this year. A lot of the restaurants saying, hey, you must mention Restaurant Week. I kind of like that because it lets the restaurant know that you're aware of what the gifts are for the week, right? So $30, get $5 off, alcohol excluded, Ellie's Farmhouse. Whatever is there looks pretty good to me. But they also got a great Reuben. Next slide, please. Yala. So this is the competition.
They're friends of ours. They came to support
people.
us. We go there. No, we love them.
There's plenty of business for everybody, trust me.
No, they're so good.
$45 dinner for two. You get a choice of an appetizer, up to $10. A choice of any two regular from the dinner menu, and then you get a choice of ashta or two baklava, and I love baklava. Right? There's a little hummus right there, hummus bitahini right there in the lower right corner. That makes me want to dive right into the screen. I don't know about you. Look at, they're laughing over there at me, saying, all right, Mayor, step it up. Next slide, please. This is our good friends of the Fireside, still in business, and we love them. Free soup with the purchase of an entree, excludes chowder, and is dine-in only. And that's June 17th to 21st. Their soups are terrific. They've got a meatball pasta soup that's second to none. Second to none. So go on at the Fireside also the week. And, you know, if you plan this right, if you're like the mayor, you can kind of spread them out and do Jocelyn's one night and do Mann's for lunch the next day, and then another night go to Fireside and pretty much eat out your whole week, Sandy, right? Is that a good idea? She's nodding yes. Yeah, good idea. Next slide. All right. I don't know how many. So this is our good friends at Pika's, and they got a great deal. Buy one sandwich, get one free of equal or lesser value. It's dine-in only, and it does include burgers. For everybody other than the police chief of Methuen, I'll tell you a secret. The police chief of Methuen has an aversion to pickles. He cannot stand pickles. I don't know if I've ever said this publicly before. I went out to lunch with him one day. It was Pika's, as a matter of fact. And he said to the young lady, are there going to be pickles with that? She said, yeah. Do you want them? He said, no, I don't want any pickles on the plate, anywhere near the sandwich. He got a chicken barbecue, and he told the server up front, if there is any pickles anywhere near the plate, I will have to return it. And I said, that's an aversion to pickles.
A lot of people are like that with pickles.
Huh?
A lot of people are like that
Are
with
they?
pickles. Pickles are not for everyone.
Yeah. It's
They're
kind of
tart,
well,
they're wet.
And I would tell you that when I was in high school, I worked at a hamburger stand that very few people remember. It is actually on the property where there's now a Starbucks at 2 Broadway. And to call it a restaurant is kind of an overstatement. It was like a McDonald's. Think of a McDonald's, but it was called Kelly's. And there were 2 of them, one in Methuen and one in Lowell. And it was the only job I could get that worked with my work school athletic schedule at Central. So I would go every day after football practice and go to Kelly's Hamburgers and work on the grill and make hamburgers. And what happened is, even though you're wearing the plastic gloves, when you're slapping the pickles on the hamburgers and cheeseburgers, after a while, I can see if you start to, you smell it, and then next thing you know, it's like constantly on your mind.
No, it's under your fingernails and everything. Yeah.
So I went about 2 years without having pickles. So maybe we'll send the chief to aversion therapy for pickles. By the way, before I forget, please reach out and say congratulations to our chief. He graduated today from a very prestigious FBI Academy at Quantico.
Nice.
So he's been away for the last 10 weeks. He's back in the city full-time as of tomorrow. We welcome back with open arms, and he was kind enough to share the link with me so I could watch a little bit of the graduation ceremony this morning before we did another grand opening, which is One Broadway, which we're going to talk about. I think we're going to slide after. All right, so we're going to come back here for a little while. Do we have one more food slide, or am I wrong? Oh, we do. TGI Fridays, always in there. Thank you, TGI Fridays. $10 off 50, excludes alcohol, dine-in only. And here again, must mention Restaurant Week, right? So I think they're testing you people out there. I think you'll pass with flying colors. And is that the last food chat we got? Yeah. Okay. So we'll come back to we'll rerun those quicker at the end. I won't talk as much. But, it shows you, those are just some of the restaurants that are in now. We're continuing to talk to restaurants. And if you're a restaurateur and you're seeing this program and you're interested in helping out and Savor Methuen Week, call the mayor's office and ask for Jordan. He's coordinating all of our setup for Restaurant Week. So we're really looking forward to it. And if, when June 17th comes, I keep saying that, like June 17th is like a million months away. It's less than 2 weeks away. Can't believe that. When you go out and you experience the Savor Methuen, we would ask you, post to social media and tag it. And the hashtag should be hashtag Savor Methuen, right? Or hashtag Savor Methuen 2024, right? And that way we can share it with people that you're appreciating and experiencing some of the benefits offered by our local restaurant. I'm going to say this one more time. These small businesses, they work their keisters off for us, supporting our communities, and it's only right that we support them in kind. Okay, so back to you, Jocelyn, a little bit. So the two places we talked a little bit about the menu. So you talked, when you were talking personally about yourself, you said your mom and dad owned a sub shop. Mm-hmm. Did you work in the sub shop?
I did.
And so from the sub shop, is that what engendered the desire to stay in the food service community?
The sub shop that I'm speaking of, ironically, is exactly where Sevmar Bistro is now. It's where Salem Kebab and Pizzeria was. So we were there, and then we sold it to cousins, and then Kelvin and I bought it back and changed it to Sevmar. But I was there at a young age, and I realized I love hospitality. I love people. It's an easy job. It doesn't feel like a job. And so everything else I did after college felt like a job. And so I wanted to go back to the easy stuff, which was the restaurant.
Yeah, it's like falling off a log. So what did you study in college?
Communication and sociology, double major, and I minored in education.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
No, I mean...
Always comes in useful.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Whether you're talking to employees or talking to people, right? Selling them an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so... I got to be honest with you. So my house is on Hampstead Street, 120 on Hampstead Street, and it's roughly 8 years old. So your cousins who own North Salem Kebab, we used to go there as well.
Oh, so you know them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, knew them. She was a lovely lady.
Lisa.
Lovely lady.
Yeah.
And they, if I could be wrong, they just bought some property in downtown Methuen.
I heard that, yes.
Yeah, and we are thrilled because they are anxious to redevelop the property, as we are to have them redevelop it.
No, for sure. Good.
Right? So if you're ever thinking of expanding or doing something else, I would point you towards downtown Methuen. Your fiance would probably say, well, where's the business model for that? Right? And so what I would point to is the fact that the Red Tavern's been redeveloped, the Masonic Lodge has been redeveloped. Right down the street, Broadway, there's another 50-unit housing that's been developed. A little further down the street is the Nevins, is 98 units being developed there. You got Mirabella Lofts with about 11 units. And so for the first time, you say, Mayor, get to the point here. For the first time since I was a child in the 60s, the downtown section of Methuen actually is going to have people in it. Mm-hmm. And that's the beauty of it. The benefit is, or the issue you've got to address is, what do you have for people to do, right? And that's what you would understand. So we've got, great places that we love, like the Country Kitchen. I don't know if you've ever tried their fish and chips. Breakfast of fish and chips, really good, and really good people. You've got Aria's Place, which has a really diverse menu, excuse me, and good food. But you don't have an ATM. You don't have a coffee spot there. So missing from that downtown, and you've got, Wasang, the Asian food there. They're all good, but, you need to have an ATM. You need to have a coffee spot. You need to have something. And this is why, we're so thrilled that did you say it's your cousins that bought downtown?
Yes.
So one of the things that's been also missing is the buildings kind of look the wrong way. They look out into the street, which I get was the way to do it when they were built. Excuse me. But now with the lights on the falls and the things behind, the real way to do it is to have like a glass level first floor so that people can see out to the falls, kind of sit there, have a cup of coffee, a nosh, something like that. So if you're a franchisee for Starbucks or a franchisee for Dunkin' Donuts or something along that lines, a coffee shop, if you will, or if you're interested in opening up a coffee shop, come and see the mayor and let's talk about downtown Methuen, because it's, excuse me, it's an opportunity that should not be wasted. So with the two restaurants, what's the biggest headache you face?
The biggest headache I face right now is it's developing systems. Not that it's really a headache, but they need to be developed because they don't exist yet. And so that's what we're doing right now. We're trying to work on developing systems so things can kind of run smoothly on their own without any diversion.
And when you say systems, you're talking like ordering systems or?
Everything, closing, opening, how we greet a table, how we pack a takeout, how we set the drawer, everything. Because if there's a system in place, then things are always done right.
Yeah, there's some that people follow.
So that's something Calvin taught me in the business world, because before I was in the family restaurant industry where it was kind of like everything was with pen and paper. We didn't count at the end of the night. We took money out of the drawer if we needed to buy something. There was no record of it.
Right.
So it's a new concept for me, but I get it and I'm about it, and that's what we're doing right now.
Good for you. Now, you talk a system. Have you put an ordering system is so when your servers come out to the table, are they taking orders on something electronic or are they manually?
We have the electronic, the handheld, but right now they have it on a piece of paper and then they go enter it in their little section.
Yep.
But it is a paper slip that's typed out that prints in the kitchen. It's not pen and paper.
And I would assume that makes it easier for you to look at the end of a week and then a month. Okay, this is what we're selling. This is what's hot. This is
exactly.
Yeah. So we need to stock up on that. And is it how do I say it? Is it ever difficult, like when you're ordering from a distributor, right? To kind of where you have to kind of, I could use a little bit more chicken, or I could use a little bit more, I don't know if you buy the lamb direct, things like that you buy and have them brought in. Is it ever difficult? Do you ever run out?
We sometimes run out of things, but now we have the beauty of being 8 minutes away from each other. Yeah. So one runs out of kibbe balls, somebody drives the 8 minutes, brings it to them. One runs out of lamb chops, they drive the 8 minutes, they bring it to them. So it actually works in our favor that they're close together and they have the same menu.
Now, since you've got the two spots, you and your partner, how do you does one of you work at one spot, one at the other, or do you Monday, Wednesday, and Friday you're going to be at 401 Main Street?
It's not like that yet. Yeah. No. Anyway, he is in the demolition business. He just does the business end. Yeah. But for me, like today, I was at Jocelyn's yesterday, so today I started at Sevmar. I brought up my laptop. I started to get some work done. I talked to the customers. And when I sat down, I opened the camera just to see what's going on in the other restaurant because it had quieted down at Sevmar. And I saw the restaurant was packed. Yeah. So I threw my food in a box. I said bye to everyone, and I ran out. And I got to Jocelyn's in 8 minutes, and I was there. So it's the beauty of being able to see exactly what's going on in each, because even if I'm not there, I can watch to see what's going on. And I can kind of take myself where I need to go, where they need me. But I do go back and forth. I don't have a schedule yet. Yeah. I don't want a schedule.
No, I'm not suggesting you do. I just, certain people approach it differently when they have more than one restaurant, right? because one restaurant is all-consuming.
I guess if they weren't so close to each other, I definitely would have a schedule.
Yeah.
But because I can just, with a thought, get to the next one,
Yeah.
I don't, it's very fluid for me.
And it sounds like you have in-restaurant cameras so you can see what the level of clientele
Everywhere.
is. That's great. That's terrific. What's the single biggest thing you look back and say, I wish I'd thought through this or done this before we opened the restaurants?
Right now, we're dealing with that in Methuen. When we set up the tables and chairs in Methuen, you remember how Savastano's was,
yeah.
kind of carpeted in booths. So we set up the room, and we put tables and chairs, and we set it up 5 rows, and it looked nice. But when people came in, we realized no one can back up their chair.
Right.
It's way too tight, so we took out a whole row, and now the vibe is not so cozy. So we are considering now getting booths.
Yeah.
And redoing all that and changing. Oh, and the other thing was the music. It was echoey. We put sound absorbing panels. So one thing I wish, if I could go back, I would have gotten different furniture, cushier, kind of sound absorbing furniture, but we're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
So some people, when they first came the first week, they said, we love it. It's just too congested, and we know. So we fixed that. And then the music is too echoey. We know. We fixed that. So little things, we'll change it.
Well, and some people, this is where I go into the Merrimack Valley Eats, the Jerry Schiavone thing. And I'll be honest with you, I'm constantly appalled at some of the things people write.
I have a love-hate relationship with Merrimack Valley Eats.
Yeah.
Some days I'm skipping around with all the lovely words, and some days I can't sleep with the knots in my stomach.
It's not much different from being mayor, to be honest with you, right? Because people write things and you go, that's not true. But you kind of have to live with it.
Yep,
to respond to social media is to invite over and over again, right? You can make things live.
The threads go viral. I know.
I know. It's tough. So Jerry will be on next week. Hopefully you can watch. And we'll talk about that because I think, I've seen other food sites. By and large, he tries to, steer the group towards, listen, are you going to have a meal that didn't measure up once in a while at any restaurant? Absolutely, right? Do the restaurateurs care about that and want to make it right? Absolutely. We've lost a little bit of the discuss. If you're unhappy with your meal and you're at a restaurant, call your server over, call the manager over, have a respectful discussion with them. Say, this didn't scratch my itch. Here's why, and you'd be amazed at the positive response you're going to get, versus saying, this is, garbage, right? And I always, I bleed with you because I look at, some of the comments on Merrimack Valley Eats, and I haven't seen anything other than positive ones about Jocelyn's or Sevmar, just so you know. And I look at Merrimack Valley Eats pretty regularly. But there are some restaurants that I've seen really get hammered, and one of my pet peeves is when a restaurant first opens, you know this better than ever, there's a myriad of opportunity for things to go wrong.
Oh, it
right?
could be disastrous.
You're learning on the and people go in and during an opening week like that, and then they have an experience that wasn't quite what they expected it to be, and then they go out and they publicize it, and then you've got other people looking at that, and I often feel like commenting that's not really fair.
Our first week at Sevmar, we had called it a soft opening intentionally. It was more than we just called it like a soft opening. We didn't have a grand opening yet, and we meant like, okay, things aren't perfect, so just come in with an open mind. On the very first day, we got a review on, I think it was even on Yelp, not even Merrimack Valley Eats, but similar, and it said, I can't believe it, waited so long for my food, congested, and I just thought to myself, you went on the first day we ever opened, and today you want to write a review about us?
Yeah, and that's my point, right? Say something to your service, say something to the manager. They're going to want the experience. They want the experience to be such that you come back time and time again, right? And I'm going to tell you, the mayor is a devotee.
I like that.
So I will be there regularly.
Thank you.
In fact, me and my kids, we ate takeout from there last Friday night.
Oh, good.
Right? So we love it.
Thank you.
Right? And I'm a sucker for the chicken kebabs.
No, good. You can't go wrong.
I know people say boring, Mayor, but
no, it's not. And chicken is boring, but it's delicious.
Yeah.
I love our chicken, and I'm not a big chicken person.
You've got like some flavor to it, right? So to me, chicken is boring. Chicken is boring. If you cook it and you don't put something on it, it's chicken's chicken, right? You guys, whatever
Figured it
you're
out,
putting on
good.
it, the mayor says A++.
I'll tell them you
right?
said that. Good,
Yeah,
thank you.
it's delicious. We talked about staff. Now, do you have, and I know they're close enough for you to, but do you keep like a manager at each site, or how do you do that?
We do. That's when I talked about systems. Before, I kind of just did everything myself, so I didn't really need to make a system or write
Right.
it down. But now I'm training. We have bar managers, we have restaurant managers, and we have a catering manager. And so I kind of put them in these roles also, not realizing, well, I have to set them up. I have to tell them what they need for papers, tell them
Yeah.
how to set themselves up. I can't just say, all right, you're the manager, go manage,
Yeah.
and then I'm setting them up for failure that way.
Yeah.
So now with them, we're setting up systems together, and again, not that it's a challenge, but it's what we're working on now.
Yeah, it is a challenge. Customers can be difficult, right? The customer's always right. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard that a million times. Now, we're going to stop here for a second. So, Jocelyn, you get a couple minutes to think about what more do you want to impart? What haven't I asked you that I should have asked you that you want to tell the audience? I'm going to do the slides again really quick.
Okay.
And then when I come back, we're going to say, what is it you want to tell your constituents in Methuen?
How long is the slides thing going to take?
5 minutes.
Oh, good.
7 minutes, yeah.
Kelvin
All right.
showed up. I'm going to ask him.
Let's go back to the
Thank
restaurant
you.
slides one more time. Fly through them. Savor Methuen, June 17th to 21st. The only advice I could give you is please make sure you mention Savor Methuen when you're going to these restaurants. Next slide, sorry. Mann's, the specials at Mann's, we ran through them before, and they do a fabulous job. Thank you to the Fitzgerald family and all those who do. And I'm telling you, though, I'm looking to try that walking taco. All right, that looks like a Wednesday visit for the mayor. I've already had the smash burgers, out of this world. Chicken barb, out of this world. Next slide. Bada bing, bada boom. John, thank you, as always, for supporting Savor Methuen. You must mention Restaurant Week. Free small pizza with any large pizza, but you got to mention it. And we appreciate everything John does for our community. Next slide. This is Sweetheart Inn. Thrilled that they're still open. June 17th to 21st. $10 off 50. That's dine-in only, and it excludes alcohol. So come on down. I ate from there the other night and had, I think, chicken marsala, and it was delicious. Next slide. You're going to say, does the mayor ever eat at home? The answer is very little. Ellie's Farmhouse, our good friend Rick, like I said, for Savor Methuen Week is June 17th to 21st. Spend $30, get $5 off. Alcohol is excluded, and you must mention Restaurant Week. So mention it. Next slide. Yala, our good friends at Yala, for Savor Methuen Week, they've got a $45 dinner for two, kind of a price fix menu, if you will. Any appetizer up to 10, one appetizer up to 10. Any two entrees from the regular dinner menu. And then dessert, you get your choice of ashta or baklava. I don't really know what ashta is. I don't know if you do.
Yeah, ashtra is like a creamy thing it's maybe cheese-based with honey
Okay.
and nuts, perhaps.
Ooh. Sounds like the mayor would like that.
That's how Lebanese desserts are.
Yeah. Next slide. Our good friends at the Fireside, Tom and Derek. Free soup with the purchase of an entree. Exclude chowders and is dine-in only for June 17th to 21st. Next slide. Our friends at Pika's. Look at those sandwiches. They look delicious. Buy one sandwich, get one free of equal or lesser value. It's dine-in only and does include burgers. So go on out to Pika's. And another place, the chicken barb there is excellent, excellent. And I really like the Reuben there. Next slide. Sand Trap at Merrimack Valley Golf Course for Savor Methuen Week, June 17th to 21st, is a free appetizer and dessert with the purchase of two entrees. So you want to be a big spender and look like you're treating your significant other well, take them to Sand Trap on during Savor Methuen Week, and you get a free appetizer and dessert. You look like a big spender, and all you have to do is pay for the two entrees. Next slide. TGI Fridays, Again, thank you for participating. $10 off a $50 bill, excludes alcohol, dine-in only, and must mention Restaurant Week. And then, is that it? All right, so I'm going to go into a couple other things, then we'll come back to Jocelyn. So June 14th, from 3 to 7 p.m., Methuen Senior Activity Center celebrates its 40th anniversary. I keep looking at the slide thinking like June 14th, it's got to be like weeks away. It's a week from Friday, if I remember correctly, right? If I get my dates correctly. So 40th anniversary, come on down and participate in the festivities. Best senior center in the state. Next slide. Veterans Pig Roast, Family Day, for one and all at Forest Lake, Sunday, June 23rd, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., rain or shine. There's no admittance without proof of registration. And for this one, you must register in advance. It's free, but you still have to register in advance. Free to all veterans and their families to honor your service and contribution to our community. There's going to be bouncy houses, so bring your kids and grandkids. Bring a lawn chair and a beverage. It's a joint effort with the Bedford VA, who will have various booths with info on VA benefits. So call the Veterans Office at 978-983-8585. Next, Methuen Youth Soccer. We got soccer programs coming end of June and August. Registration will be opening soon. Go to MethuenSoccer.org and register for the summer clinics. Next, Youth Lacrosse. Their summer clinic is August 6th through 8th, 2024 at Nicholson Stadium. Work on your lacrosse skills and be trained by the best, right? Register now at powellacrosse.com /Methuen, Mass. Next slide. We got a golf tournament coming up with the Veterans versus the First Responders scheduled for Thursday, August 22nd from 2 to 5 at our good friends X Golf, who are literally driving the ball out of the park, if I can. Right? That's a baseball analogy for golf business. So get on by and see that Thursday, August 22nd, from 2 to 5. Next slide. Our Tricentennial Committee has been meeting. Thank you, State Representative Ryan Hamilton, and all those, Michelle Amber, all those who have been participating in talking about financing and events that we have. We want to make it bigger than the 250th because remember, Methuen's 300th is America's 250th. So lots of things to do. If you're still interested and you aren't involved yet, call the mayor's office at 978-983-8505. Next slide. That's it. Okay. So we're back. Look at that. I did it with 7 minutes, just exactly to where I said I'd do it. So we're back with you, Jocelyn. What did I not ask you that you wished I would have asked you?
So if I can talk about the restaurant.
Please.
We have values at the restaurant. They spell vibe, and it's virtue, intimacy, boldness, excellence. And so it's important for our guests to know that that is what we're about. That's what we offer. We love what we do. You walk in, it's friendly, it's exciting. We do catering, we do events, takeout, dine-in, bar, and it's a fun time. I think sometimes people don't know what Mediterranean food is, and maybe they're hesitant to come in. It's kind of like Indian food or something else where it's not your thing. But I promise you, it is your thing. Yeah. So come in, and you'll feel good, and you'll be happy about it. Yeah.
Well, and I love what you said there. So vibe is kind of your, and I think one of the benefits, when you're trying food like you serve, is to come in with multiple people and order different things.
That's the right way.
Right. So that you can kind of.
That's actually what the mezza is.
But
it's true.
Yeah. Pick at it and find the ones you really love and find the ones you don't. Like I said, for me, nobody would expect that I like rock kibbe. Nobody, right? And in fact, my kids are still, their minds are blown by the fact that I eat rock kibbe. I can't get them to eat rock kibbe.
Next time you do takeout, I'll put one in your order.
Oh God. Hours of the restaurant. We didn't talk about that.
So we are open 7 days a week with both of them, but Jocelyn's is closed on Monday, open Sunday. Sevmar is closed Sunday, open Monday.
Oh,
so they're open 7 days a week. And we close at 9 on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we close at 10. But that's just for the kitchen. So if people are at the bar drinking and having a good time, the bar can stay open till 1.
Yeah.
And I realize in Methuen, it quiets down kind of early.
Yeah. So do you see a lot of people, taking advantage of the bar?
The bar is the bar is the best.
Okay.
Sometimes the tables will be empty, but the bar will be full.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
No.
Well, it's a 20-seat bar anyway at Jocelyn, so
yeah,
it's
a beautiful bar.
It's big. It's
comfortable. A beautiful bar.
No, good. Thank you.
Where did that come from?
Kelvin.
Okay.
He's the mastermind.
Did a great job.
Thank you.
It's awesome. Awesome looking. And I love that you just pick vibe, because there is a good vibe there. I mentioned that to my executive assistant when we came out there for the grand opening, and we were trying some of the food. I said, "Wow, this is great."
Good. Thank you.
So, but it is a good vibe. So I want to, we got 5 minutes left here. I want to make one more plea for, our constituents. Please support these small businesses, right? Their livelihood depends on you, right? They're not like some big corporate chain. So next time you're thinking of going to, McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or, any of and Burger King, not that there's anything wrong with eating at those places. I think if you step back and you take a look at the prices at some of these restaurants, especially if you take a look at, Jocelyn's, you can find a much healthier choice for both your family and your children, right? And not to keep beating a dead horse here, but I would say that the chicken kebabs are second to none. Second to none. And I was a big fan, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if you remember, so before Savastano's, that was Satine. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I used to love their rice pilaf.
Oh, that's interesting.
People used to say, well, you get rice pilaf. I say, well, it strikes me from there, right?
Oh, good. They're friends of ours, too.
Yeah, they're good people.
Very
good people. So get out Restaurant Week. Get out and see Methuen. Get out and support these small businesses who do so much for our community. I want to give Jocelyn the chance in a minute to wrap up here. But before I do, I also want to mention today was a significant day in the city of Methuen. So today we opened One Broadway. Not One Broadway, One Broadway. And that is a community health resource center that we've worked very hard. And I want to give kudos to Acting Department Head Kelly Townsend, the public health nurse Kara Ferrillo, Jasmine Nunez, all the folks in HHSI who've worked so hard, to Deputy Chief Randy Hager and his brother, who helped do some of the volunteer work to get the building ready. It's a very small building right on the stretch of land where you come from Lawrence into Methuen. The address is 1 Broadway. It's right where Private Pulaski is buried, or was buried. There's a headstone there. He's not really there. And there's going to be a doctor there one day a week. There's going to be, you want to talk about light heap or raft or assistance, for bills that you can't pay, whether it's your rent, your Eversource, your National Grid, you name it. This community outsource, if you will, is there for you to take advantage of. And it's going to be staffed full-time, different people's at different times. But please, go on down and check it out. They did a grand opening today. I was thrilled, absolutely thrilled to be part of it. And it looks fabulous. And we're hoping that the citizens of Methuen take advantage of it, right? So 1 Broadway, kudos to our HHSI team who continues to just perform excellently in the face of all the challenges of the mental health. All right, so I gave you 3 minutes. There's 2 minutes left in our program, Jocelyn. What else would you like to say? Say, Mayor, I'm all talked out, or...
Give me a category.
It's hard for me to say because we asked about hours. We asked about,
Father's Day is next week, so
Father's
make your
Day is
reservations.
next
Happy
week,
Father's
yeah.
Day to all the fathers.
Yeah.
I love my dad.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
My kids say
he's
the
with
same.
me. He works with us in the kitchen.
I saw that, yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah.
So,
and I met your mom when I came there.
True,
And,
yes.
I'll say that I can't
I know.
believe she.
I know.
I walked away saying, "Wow, that looked more like her sister."
I know.
So Father's Day. Father's Day is not included in Restaurant Week for the deals, but get out there and like I said, you're going to be surprised at some of the deals that these local restaurants can offer. They can compete with anybody, and it's our job to make sure that they stay in business. So happy Father's Day. Will I be back on TV before Father's Day? I won't, right? So next week is after Father's Day? No, I'm doing bad math. I got one more appearance. So I'll be on with Jerry before Father's Day. But it's a great idea. Get your dad in the car. My father always used to want to go to Lawton's.
Hot dogs?
Hot dogs. He was a devotee of hot dogs.
Okay.
And when Lawton's went away, he kind of, so he's not around to see it, but it is what it is. All right. So thank you, Jocelyn, to you.
No,
Let me
thank
say
you.
from the mayor's perspective, we want to support you in every way possible. If there's things that we can do to make your life easier, we are happy to do them.
Thank you.
Right? We want to work with
been
you
great. Thank
and
you.
make your business successful. I know, it isn't always easy working with the city. I think we did pretty well there.
We got it going. We're open. So
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen. That's what's important. So welcome to Methuen. Welcome to Salem, too.
Thank you.
We look forward to having you in the city for a long time to come. For you folks, tune in next week. You'll see Jerry Schiavone will be the co-host. He is the administrator of Merrimack Valley Eats, and I do intend to talk to him a little bit about the difficulties with being an administrator of a site like that, where sometimes people go out there and put comments that are less than flattering and not deserved in a lot of cases.
And they're bullies.
Yeah.
They just get excited by the thread kind of going crazy.
Well, and honestly, don't you find it's easier to do that than it is to speak to you directly, right? I think in general, our society, unfortunately, has moved away from, we get a lot of calls, hey, my neighbor's doing this, hey, my neighbor's doing that. And we get them in the mayor's office, believe it or not. And a lot of times I sit there and think, thinking back to when I was a kid, that my dad would probably walk, just go to the neighbor's house and say, hey, can you turn that music down? Or, can we peacefully coexist, et cetera. So, all right, next week, Jerry Schiavone. And then in July, we go on our hiatus for the month of July. And we'll see how we do in August. As you know, every year in summer, we kind of shut down the mayor's minutes for at least a month and a half. But we're always interested in topics that are of interest to you. So don't let this be just, the mayor comes on and becomes a talking head. If there's other topics that you'd like to see mentioned on the show, please send them in to us and we'll make sure we get them on. We definitely have to get our fire chief and our police chief on. And again, kudos to our police chief for graduating from that prestigious FBI school today. We're very proud of him and the job he's doing at Methuen Police Department. Until next week, I'll see you then. This is the mayor saying, enjoy your night and get out there now before the raindrops start to fall.
Thank you so much. That was fun.